Please find your seats on your mat. And as you do, get comfortable. Feel your sits bones. Really feel your sits bones. And allow your weight to drop in right there. And arrive fully. And I welcome you to close your eyes or lower your eyelids and withdraw your attention from the outside world, all the things that are going on or not going on, tasks, whatever may be present in your life, let go of those and allow yourself not only to arrive seated on your sits bones, but arrive into this moment. And tuning into your breath can really assist in giving the mind something to do, excuse me, besides thinking. So tune into your breath. Listen to the ocean sound, the Ujjayi breath, making a slight constriction in the back of your throat. And listen to the natural rhythm of your breath. And then please slow it down. Make the exhalation longer than the inhalation. And soften your face and your jaw and your eyes. Let your shoulders relax. Drawing down and away from your ears. Bring awareness to the length of your spine and send your tailbone down into the earth. And then on your next inhalation, breathe light and energy up your spine and out the crown of your head. Lifting as though a sky hook attached to the crown of your head and was just lifting you up. And then look within. See if there's some guidance or an intention, a quiet voice speaking to you from within. On the fullness of this full moon day. And from this place of stillness and awareness, let's join together and send a prayer out to all beings. May all beings be peaceful and free. May all beings be safe May all beings have enough food and clear water. And may all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings be peaceful and free. May all beings be safe. May all beings have enough food and clear water. May all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings everywhere be peaceful and free. May all beings be safe. May all beings have plenty of food and clear water. May all beings live with ease and with grace. And now please bring your hands together in front of your heart and prayer hands, Anjali Mudra. This gesture of unity right at the center of our hearts, and chant one Om together. Take a couple of cleansing breaths first, a deep breath in, and let that go. Another breath like that. And let that one go too. And then take a breath in and we'll begin. Om. And please release your hands. Let them rest on your legs. And with a long, tall spine, let your eyelids lift and your vision to clarify with ease. Nice to see each one of you, even the ones I cannot see. Good to see you too. And sit up nice and tall, please. Lengthen your neck. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Feel that sky hook as it lifts you up gently but effectively. And then take your arms out to either side. Flip the palms to the sky and turn your thumbs back towards the wall behind you. Take a breath in, hug the shoulder blades towards one another on your back body. And on an inhalation, lift the arms up slowly as though you're pressing through something thick. Exhale, flip the palms and press down. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Another breath in to lift the arms up, stretching long through the side bodies, through the fingertips. And as you exhale, press the shoulder blades towards one another, bending at the elbows, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Inhale, press up slowly, reach long through the side bodies and the fingertips. And as you exhale, flip the palms, press down. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale, press up. And exhale into Anjali Mudra. Press the hands together, draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Press the hands apart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press down. Synchronize with your breath as you inhale, lift. And exhale, press the elbows back, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Inhale, press up. Exhale into Anjali Mudra. And then lower your hands and take them behind you. Intertwine the fingers and press the backs of your hands down towards the earth. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another and then lower your head and roll it to the right. Breathe here, and you can lift your chin or lower your chin. Feel where the stretch feels best in your body. Couple more breaths here. Take a breath in on this side, and as you exhale, come back to center. Make your movement slow and easeful. And on your next inhalation, rotate your left ear towards your left shoulder. And again, find where it feels best, lifting or lowering your chin, or maybe a little rotation between the two. Good, and then please come back to center. Lift your vision towards the front of the room and take a moment to intertwine your fingers the other way, the unusual way. Press down and back with the backs of your hands. And this time, take a breath in and turn to look towards your right, gently allowing the fascia to unwind and release. No need to force. Take a few more breaths here. Keep pressing down. And on an inhalation, come back to center. Take a breath in and turn to look over the other shoulder. Hug those shoulder blades towards one another. Breathe. Soft jaw, soft face. Feel all the feels. And on your next breath in, return your head back to center and release your hands. Let your palms rest on your knees and then rotate your right shoulder forward and then your left shoulder and then your right and your left, taking it one shoulder at a time. And then please reverse and go the other way. Go back. One shoulder at a time. Good. And then from here, come to sit up nice and tall. And let's take the arms out to either side. We'll take a side bend to the left. Inhaling to lift your right arm up to the sky, reach long through the fingertips, and then draw the shoulder blade down towards the hips, away from the ear. Keep reaching out through the fingertips as you take a breath in, lengthen through the side bodies, and then come over into your side bend, pressing into the right hip as you reach out through the right fingertips. Breathe into the armpit and send the breath down out the hip. Take another breath into your right armpit, and this time send it down and out the left hip. And on your next breath in, lift and lengthen to come back up. Good. Send your arms out to either side. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another on the back. Take a breath in, lift the left arm up, reach long through the fingertips, and as you exhale, consciously draw the shoulder blade down towards your hip. Next breath in, lengthen through the side bodies, and then come into your side bend. Press into your left sits bone, and invite the breath into your left armpit. As you exhale, send it down and out the hip, the left hip. And on your next breath in, invite that same breath into the same armpit, maybe a different breath, and then send it down and out your right hip. And then inhale, reach long through the fingertip, come back up to a nice tall seat on your mat. Lift your heart, send your shoulder blades towards your hips, and we'll take a twist. Inhaling to lengthen, and exhale, take your twist to the right. Bring your fingertips right behind your tailbone, and then wrap that right shoulder blade onto your back body. Turn to look over your back shoulder, if that's available, pressing your left hand into the outside of your thigh. Stay with your breath here. Listen to the sound of the breath. Ujjayi breath. As you soften your jaw. And on your next inhalation, return to center, please. Take a breath cycle here. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, twist. Listen to the sound of your breath. Soften your jaw. Release and relax your shoulders. Take a breath in and lengthen. And as you exhale, return to center. And let's come to child's pose. Bring your blocks, have them close by, please. And once you've come to your mat in this way, bring your big toes together, sit your sits bones towards your heels, lengthen your spine, take a breath in with your knees hip width distance apart, and then lengthen over your knees, lengthen your spine, draw the belly in, walk your hands forward, use a block if it's helpful to lower your head to and breathe into the back body. Stay with your breath. Keep drawing the belly in and the inner groins in and back. Pressing your fingertips into the mat. Giving the fascia, the muscles, all the fibers along the spine and the spine itself an opportunity to really lengthen out in this first child's pose. Stay active, draw the belly in, lengthen the heart, the chest, the torso over the mat, over your legs. And on your next breath in, please walk your hands to the right, lifting your hips just for a moment to encourage greater length through the left side body. Listen to the sound of your breath. Take a breath in now and walk your hands back to the center of the mat. One breath cycle here. And then please walk your hands to the left. Lift your hips for a moment. Stretch it out. And next breath in, please walk your hands back to center. For another couple breath cycles here in child's pose, pressing your fingertips into the mat, arm bones, wrists lifted up off the mat, shoulder blades drawing down towards the hips and away from the ears. And on your next breath in, place your hands under your shoulders, fingers spread wide and lift up. Let's turn perhaps or stay just where you are, and we'll come to gate pose. Come onto your knees and either tuck your toes or not, whatever feels best, and take your right leg out to the side with your toes facing towards the front of your mat so the knife edge side of your foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Bring your block so you have something to rest on, perhaps. Take a breath in and lift your right arm up. And as you exhale, you can come onto the block, over towards the block, I should say, reaching from the edge of your foot through your fingertips. Reach long, press the edge of your foot into the mat, lifting through the inner ankle. So the leg is active. There's a good deep stretch through the groins, side body. Take another breath here. And as you exhale, lift back up. Take your right hand to the outside of your thigh, and with your left hand, reach up on an inhalation. And as you exhale, bend towards your right. Stretch it out. Take a few breaths here. Keep that leg and the foot active. And on your next breath in, come back up and bring your leg in, block to the other side, and take your left leg out. Again, pressing the knife edge of the foot into the mat as you parallel it with the short end of your mat. Take a breath in to lift and lengthen. Draw the belly in, and as you exhale, come over, gate pose. Keep that leg active, pressing into the knife edge of the foot. Lift the inner ankle. Reach out through the left fingertips and breathe. And on your next breath in, lift up, come back up. Keep that foot active. Take a breath in and reach out through your right fingertips. And as you exhale, take that side bend over to the other side. Keep the leg active. Reach out through the fingertips. Good. And on an inhalation, come back up. And then bringing your leg back under you, we'll take child's pose once again. Knees hip width distance apart. Sit back. Draw the belly in. And as you reach long over the earth, lower down and just notice your body, notice your spine, notice how it feels to come into child's pose again. Just notice. Lift the arm bones up off the mat and draw the shoulder blades down. Press the fingertips into the mat. Listen to your breath. Relax your face. 2 more breath cycles here. And on your next inhalation, bring your hands under your shoulders, press up, and we'll come to table pose. Turn your toes under. Let's take some upward and downward cats. Make sure your knees are just under your hip sockets and your wrists under your shoulders, fingers spread wide. On an inhalation, tip your tailbone up and reach out through the crown of your head as you let your belly drop down towards the earth. As you exhale, press the belly up towards the sky. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhaling into upward cat. Exhale, take it nice and slow. One more cycle. And then back to table pose. From here, we're going to stretch out the legs. So from table pose, take a breath in and send your right leg back behind you. Toes to the earth, press out through the heel. On a breath in, send that leg over to the other side and turn to look over towards your heel. Toes to the earth. Stretch it out. On your next breath in, bring your leg back behind you and press out once again. And then back to table pose. Make sure your fingers are wide and press the tops of your feet into the mat for a moment. And on your next breath in, send your left leg back behind you. Press out through the heel, pressing the toes into the earth. Breathe. Stay long through the spine. And on an inhalation, send your leg to the other side and then turn to look towards your heel, pressing out through the heel. Breathe into the stretch. And then inhale your leg back behind you and press it out. Good. Bring your knee back. Turn your toes under. Look at the front of your mat. Bring your blocks close to the top of your mat. And on an inhalation, press up into downward facing dog. And stretch it out. Pedal your legs if that feels good. Send your hips from side to side if that feels good. And then let's all meet back on our toes, lifting the heels up off the mat. Take a breath in, hug the muscles to the bones in the legs and lift your hips high. And as you exhale, lower the heels towards the mat. Take a couple of breaths here. Bring your heels behind the widest part of your foot. Lift those sits bones. And on an inhalation, look towards your hands and step up towards the front of the mat. Good. Find your blocks if you're using blocks, or bring your hands to your legs or to the earth. Make sure your feet are just under your hip sockets. Cup your elbows in the other hand so you're holding both elbows. And let your spine decompress. You can bend your knees if that's helpful in your practice, or keep your legs long. You can swing forward and back if that's helpful or feels good, and to side to side. And then please bring your hands to your hips, press into all four corners of your feet, lengthen over the earth, draw your belly in. And with the strength of your legs, rise up and send your hands to either side, Tadasana. Take a few breaths here. Lifting through the crown of the head, lift your toes, press into all four corners of your feet. And then lower your toes, keep lifting the arches and press the feet away from one another. And as you feel the muscle energy turn on from the soles of your feet all the way up, do your best to stack your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, over your knees, over your ankles. Feeling that sense of alignment and stability in mountain pose. And on your next breath in, bring your hands together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. Take a couple of breaths here. And let's take some half sun salutations. Take a breath in and press hands. And as you exhale, release. On an inhalation, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, hinge and bow in. Inhale, head lifts. Exhale, bow to the legs. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bow into the legs, inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bow. On your next breath in, send the arms out to either side and come parallel to the earth. And on your next breath in, lift and rise all the way up, lifting out through the fingertips. Here you can bring your fingertips together and take a thoracic back bend, lifting through the front of the body, pressing into the four corners of your feet. Take a breath in. Exhale, come to Anjali Mudra. Release your hands to either side, and on an inhalation, sweep the arms overhead and bend the knees into chair pose. Exhale, send the arms back behind you. Sweep the arms overhead. Keep the spine long, drawing the tailbone towards the earth. Draw the belly in. Exhale, send the arms back. One more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, send the arms back and then intertwine the fingers. From here, come into Uttanasana, lifting the arms high, pressing the shoulder blades towards one another, wrapping them along the ribs towards one another. And on your next breath in, we'll jackknife up and press the hands down towards the earth. Lengthen through the crown of the head as you open through the pectorals. On your next breath in, release your hands and let them float up. And exhale, Anjali Mudra. Take a couple of breaths here. And on your next inhalation, bend your knees and reach the arms up to the sky. Sit back in your chair. As you exhale, send the arms back behind you. Inhale the arms up. Knees pointing forward like headlights. Exhale, send the arms back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, send the arms back and then intertwine your fingers the unusual way. Here we're going to come into Uttanasana, again lifting the arms up overhead, stretching through the shoulders. Couple more breaths here. Hug those shoulder blades towards one another. And on our next inhalation, release and come up. Fingertips to the sky. And exhale, Anjali Mudra. Good. Let's add on to that. Take a breath in and press hands. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, fingertips touch. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. One head lift, inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bow to the legs. Next breath in, bend your knees and frame your feet with your blocks or your hands. And exhale, send your right leg back behind you. Press out through the heel, toes to the mat. Make sure your front knee is just over the ankle foot and not beyond it. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower the knee to the mat and point the toe behind your ankle. Again, take a look at your front knee. Make sure it doesn't come beyond your ankle foot. And then draw the legs towards one another, isometrically charge up your core and send your arms to either side. Bring the hips to align themselves with the front edge of your mat. And on a breath in, lift your arms up, stretch through the fingertips. If you'd like to take a back bend, take it now, lifting the heart up towards the sky. Your gaze follows. And coming back to face the front of the room, take a breath in. And exhale, lower the arms, find your blocks. Turn your back toes under and lift the back leg once again, runner's lunge. Let's take a twist. Bring your left hand to your hip, and again, keep your hips squared to the front of the mat. And on an inhalation, revolve the ribs around the axis of your spine. Press out through that back heel. Take a breath in, and option to lift your arm up, reach out and open your heart. On your next inhalation, lengthen just a little bit more. And as you exhale, bring your hand back to the block or the mat. Take a breath in, lengthen the front leg, bend the back, and step forward, Uttanasana. Bring your feet again right under your hips, hands to your hips. Press into all four corners of your feet, and on your inhalation, rise up. Bring your fingertips towards the earth on either side in Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths there. And please bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And we'll take chair pose again. Take a breath in and bend your knees. Lift your arms up overhead. Knees right out in front. Inhale here. And exhale, send the arms back. Tailbone towards the earth, long spine. Inhale, lift. Draw the belly in. Exhale, send the arms back behind you. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, one head lift. Exhale, bend the knees and frame the feet with your blocks. On your next breath in, send your left leg back behind you. Railroad tracks, not a tightrope. Press out through the back heel. Lengthen. Make sure your front knee does not go beyond your ankle foot. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knee to the mat. Extend the toes back behind your ankle. Draw the legs towards one another. Make sure that front knee does not jut out past your ankle foot. Feel your core engage, and option to take your arms out to the sides. And option to inhale and lift them up to the sky. And maybe you take the small back bend, lifting your heart, gaze towards the sky. And then bring your gaze back to the front of the room. Inhale and exhale, hands to the blocks. Turn your back toes under, please. And then press back up, lunge pose. Take a couple breaths here as you square your hips to the front of the mat. And then we'll take that twist. Bring your right hand to your hip, keeping your hips just where they are. Rotate the the ribs around the spine. Reach out from the heel to the crown of your head. And option to lift your arm up, opening through the heart. Big stretch. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower down. Coming back to lunge. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then we'll step up again. Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Lengthen your spine. Press into all four corners of both feet. And inhale, come back up. Arms to either side. Take a few breaths here. Press into all four corners of both feet. Feel your breath. Feel all four corners of your feet on the mat. Feel that energy traveling through your body, prana, life force energy, all yours, your energy moving in your body. Great. Please take a nice big wide stance on your mat. As wide as feels good in your practice, in your body today. And we'll practice Virabhadrasana 2 to begin. Turning your right foot out. Stand up tall and hug the muscles to the bones in your legs. On an inhalation, send the arms out to either side. As you exhale, bend into the front knee and make sure the knee stays right over the ankle foot. Press into the outer edge of the back leg. Flip your palms to the sky and take a breath in, press up. Fingertips reach overhead. Exhale, lower down. Open the arms, look out towards your right fingertips. Inhale, lift. You can bring your gaze to the front of the room. Exhale, lower down. Look over those fingertips. Hug the muscles to the bones in your arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more of these. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. And let's reverse it. Bring your left hand to your thigh. Reach long through the upper fingertips. Or bring your left hand behind into the bind, if that feels good. Hug those legs towards one another. Charge up your core. And on an exhalation, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. We'll set up to take side angle pose. Lower your forearm to your thigh. Keep pressing into the outer edge of that back foot and then revolve the ribs so your heart faces the long edge of your mat. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Stay open through the front body, and option to lift and lengthen your arm overhead in a nice long line. Beautiful. Stay with your breath. One more breath cycle here. Tuck that right hip under, and on an inhalation, lift back up into Virabhadrasana 2. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lengthen the leg, lower the arms, and pivot your feet so they face forward, and then turn them both out just a little. Lift and lengthen, and lower down into a nice wide squat. Good. Send your left shoulder forward and stretch out. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, the other side. Keep the hips towards the earth as you stretch through the right side body, and then come back up to center. From here, take the arms out to either side. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Fingertips towards the sky. Hug the muscles to the bones in the legs. Exhale, lower into that wide squat. Keep as vertical as you can. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, lower the hips towards the earth as you bend the knees. One more of these. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, open the arms, lower down into the squat. Bring your hands to your hips, lengthen your legs, and now turn your heels out beyond your toes. Take a breath in, and we'll take a forward fold. As you exhale, stay long through the torso and lift your hips up high. Hinging at the hips, bring your hands to wherever they fall comfortably. Stay with this for a few breaths. You can keep sending your heels out a little farther, creating a little more space. Good. Take a breath in and walk your hands towards the right. Then take your hands to the other side, coordinate with your breath. Inhale over to the right. Exhale back to center and inhale to the left. One more time. And then back to center. And come back into your forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips and lengthen over the earth. Draw your belly in. Keep your spine long. Firm into all four corners of both feet, and with the strength of your legs, lift up. Good. We'll take to the other side. Turn your left foot out. Hug the muscles to the bones in your legs. Take a few breaths here to firm into your stance and feel your feet and all four corners of both of them. Make sure your front foot, your left foot, is bisecting the arch of your back foot. Good. Take a breath in. Take your arms out to either side, and as you exhale, come into Virabhadrasana 2. Same thing. Make sure that your knee is just over the ankle foot. Press into the outer edge of the back foot, lifting the inner ankle, and then flip your palms. Hug the muscles to the bones in your arms. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Reach out through the fingertips. Good. Exhale, open out. Turn your gaze to look towards your left fingertips. Long spine. Inhale, lift, bring your gaze forward. Exhale, lower down, gaze out over your left fingertips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. One more of these. Inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful work, you guys. From here, we'll take reverse warrior. Bring your right hand to the thigh or wrap it back behind you, whichever feels best. Make sure you keep your knee over the ankle foot. Good. Take a few breaths here. Reach long through the fingertips. On your next breath in, return to warrior 2. And then we'll take extended side angle pose. And tuck that left hip under, lengthen your spine and revolve your ribs to face the long edge of your mat. Press into the outer edge of the back foot and isometrically bring the legs towards one another and then reach long. So your upper right arm is just over your ear. Reaching long through the fingertips, one long line. And on an inhalation, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, exhale, lower, lengthen the leg, lower the arms, and bring your feet to face the front of the mat. Take a few breaths here. And then again, bring your feet so they just turn out a little bit, aligning for your body. And then on a breath in, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, come into that squat. Let's take that stretch. Take a breath in and bring your right shoulder forward. Take a nice stretch. Inhale back up. And exhale, stretch it out to the other side. Inhale back up. And then send your arms out to either side. Draw the belly in. Take a breath in and lift and lengthen. Exhale, come back into your wide squat. Keep your spine as upright as possible. Inhale it up. Exhale, open. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another. Good. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, open it up. Bring your hands to your hips and turn your feet forward and bring your heels out. lengthen your torso over the earth. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, hinge and bow in. Couple breaths here. And if it feels good in your body, you can bring your fingertips between your legs and back behind you. Take a couple of breaths in this stretch, opening up the back body. And then walk your hands back to the front or side, long side of the mat. Draw the belly in, press into all four corners of both feet, and bring your hands to your hips. With a long spine, take a breath in and use the strength of your legs to lift up. Good. And then you can heel toe in and step in to Tadasana. Great work, everyone. Let's find a blanket and take a seat. Sit on the blanket and bring your legs out in front of you. Toes to the sky, knees to the sky, and walk your hip points or your sits bones to the front edge of your mat. So you feel very supported and long through the spine. Draw your belly in and let your hands rest on your thighs, or they can rest alongside you on the mat. Either way. Press out through the soles of your feet and inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones. Engage your core. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Taking a few breaths here in Dandasana, staff pose. Using core muscles, core elements to support. From here, we'll come into Paschimottanasana, the next pose. Take a breath in and lengthen the spine, and with an inner rotation through the head of the thigh bones, come forward. See where that is in this moment. And send your tailbone back behind you, lengthen. Press out through the soles of both feet. This is like a seated Uttanasana or a seated forward fold. Maybe as you breathe here, you find some space opening up. Do your best to keep your spine long. Draw the belly in and keep that inner rotation through the head of the thigh bones. Lift through the heart, draw the heart forward. Lengthen through the spine. And let your head and neck be a continuation of your spine. So rather than looking up and craning your neck, reach long through the crown of your head. Stay with your breath for a few more breath cycles here. And notice how when the fascia warms, it releases and there's more space available. Keep drawing the belly in and keep, please, inner rotating at the head of the thigh bones as you reach long over your legs. And on your next inhalation, slowly come back up. Beautiful. Take a breath in and bring your right heel all the way up to your sits bone. Keep pressing out through the sole of that left foot. Hug the muscles to the bones in the legs and draw your heart, your belly, your upper body towards your upright thigh. Take a breath in and lengthen the left arm out in front. And as you exhale, draw the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Keep hugging the muscles to the bones, even in the arm. And take a breath in to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, twist, bringing your right fingertips behind you on the mat. And lower your shoulders away from your ears. Your gaze can be just out to the side of your mat. Draw that right shoulder blade towards the midline of your spine, broadening through the collarbones as you reach out through the sole of your extended leg foot. And a couple more breaths right where we are. And on your next breath in, lengthen your spine, draw the belly in, and as you exhale, come back to face forward. Inhale and exhale, help your right knee out to the side. Please keep extending through your front leg, your left leg. Take a breath in to lengthen, and as you exhale, come forward, reaching over the leg. And if your fingers reach your foot, great. And if they don't, that's great too. Wherever they reach, please keep your spine long, draw your belly in, and you can draw that left hip back and the right hip forward just a little. So there's still that inner rotation through your front leg and an outer rotation on the right leg at the hip. Draw the belly in and see where you go, lengthening over your extended leg. And on an inhalation, come back up. Beautiful. Keep hugging your navel center towards your spine and help that knee back up. And then reach long through the leg. Come back to Dandasana, staff pose, with an inner rotation through the upper thigh bones of both legs, reaching the toes and the knees to the sky. Lengthen the spine. Good. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bring that heel all the way up towards your sits bones as you keep pressing out through the sole of your extended leg foot. Lift your heart towards your upright leg. Widen through the collarbones. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another on your back body. And on an inhalation, lengthen your right arm out. And exhaling, draw the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket just to keep good alignment. Take a breath in, grow the spine long, draw the belly in. And as you exhale, come into the twist. Bring your left fingertips back behind you. Good. Wrap the back shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade towards the spine as you lower both shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. Keep pressing out through the sole of your extended leg foot, reaching out through the crown of your head. Enjoy your breath. Soften your jaw, widen the collarbones. Draw your ears back towards the wall behind you. So you lengthen through the neck. Beautiful. Good. Take a breath in, grow just a little longer. And as you exhale, return to center facing the front of your mat. Take a breath in, lift long through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, take your left knee out to the side. Take a breath in to lengthen here, draw the belly in. Beautiful work, everyone. And as you exhale, hinge at the hip and let your hand travel along your leg, keeping your spine long. Draw the belly in, and again, bring that left hip forward, right hip back. Stay with your breath. Reaching long through the crown of your head. Feel that opening through your lower back, right around the sacrum, as you grow longer and longer. Breathe and release. On your next inhalation, begin to move towards vertical, lifting long and sitting up tall. Take a breath in, help your knee back up, and then lengthen both legs out in front. Lengthen the spine. Take a breath in, draw the belly in, and we'll take it forward one more time. See where you go this time. Just notice any differences, or maybe it's the same, which is also okay. Breathe and reflect, perhaps bringing to awareness your intention or the guidance that showed up on this beautiful full moon day of Passover. And may all beings be peaceful and free, safe and protected. May all beings have plenty to eat and clear water to drink. And may all beings live with ease and with grace. On your next inhalation, slowly lift back up. Good. Coming back to sit up nice and tall. You can come off of your blanket. And I'm going to turn, but you can stay just where you are. So seated with your feet on the mat in front, like this, knees bent. Take your hands behind your thighs and lower down with control using your core. And once you have arrived on your mat, come to constructive rest pose, please. So your feet are hip width distance apart. And lift your hips for a moment to extend your lower back, keeping your spine long. Notice your chin. If your chin's lifted, lengthen the back of your neck. Take a couple of breaths here in constructive rest pose. If your lower back is lifting in an arch, do your best to draw it back so it's just a little bit longer. You don't want to flatten out the curve in the back, but we'd like to keep it in proper alignment. Draw your knees towards your chest, one at a time. Flex your feet, toes towards the sky, and you can hug in. Take a couple of breaths right where you are. From here, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, keep hugging the right leg, but send your left leg long, toes to the sky. Ardha Appanasana. Pressing out through the soles of both feet, especially your extended leg foot. And especially press out through the big toe pad, drawing the baby toes of both feet towards their shoulders. Relax your face and relax your shoulders. Take a couple more breaths here. Reaching out through the sole of your left foot. And on an inhalation, bring your left knee back in, left knee back in. Back to Apanasana. Good. Inhale. And as you exhale, send the other leg along the mat. Press out through the soles of both feet, especially the big toe pads. Draw the baby toes towards their respective shoulders. Press out. Hug in. Good. On your next inhalation, once again, bring your right knee in, hug it in. You can rock from side to side if that's helpful or feels good. And then take your hands to your knees and rotate. Rotate the knees and the hands. And please make sure and go both directions. Then please come to a still point and lower your feet back to the mat. We'll take a twist, opening the arms out into a T. Take a breath in and lift your hips to the right. Good. On your next inhalation, lift your feet, knees, and legs up off the mat, and then send them over to the left. If it feels good in your practice, turn to look over towards your right fingertips, keeping your face soft. And if it's helpful, you can bring your left hand to the top of your upper thigh, helping to move your knees more towards the left and lifting your right hip towards your knees. Breathe into the twist and notice where your right hip is, and if it's lifted towards your ribs, see if you can send it towards the foot of your mat. Just press it down a little bit, creating more space in the mid-body between the ribs and the hip. We'll take a couple more breaths just right here. Soft face, soft jaw, soft shoulders. Good. And on an inhalation, lift your knees back up. And as you exhale, lower your feet to the mat. And inhaling, lift your hips back to center. Good. Pressing into all four corners of both feet, take a breath in and lift your hips to the other side. Inhale, lift your knees, legs, feet up off the mat. And as you exhale, send them over to the right. And if it feels good, you can turn to look towards your left fingertips. Maybe you take your right hand to your upper thigh to help. Drawing your knees towards the right and lifting your hips towards your knees. Send your upper hip towards the foot of your mat. Soften your shoulders, and your face, and your neck. One more breath cycle here. And on an inhalation, lift your legs back up and set them on the mat. Lift your hips back to center. Perfect. Take a breath in and draw your knees towards your chest. And again, notice where your chin is. Lengthen the back of your neck. If it's popped up, take a few breaths here, letting everything settle. Relaxing your shoulders, your neck, and your jaws. From here, reach for your feet, your thighs, your knees, your shins, and find your way into happy baby pose. Wonderful. Press the soles of your feet towards the sky. And if you have your feet in your hands, you can press both the feet and the hands into one another isometrically. Draw your knees down towards the earth. Stretch it out. Breathe into the stretch. Don't go beyond your edge, however. Soften your shoulders and your face, your jaws. Enjoy your breath. Breathe into the pelvic floor, into the groins, into the hips, into all those sensations. And on your next inhalation, you can bring the soles of your feet together, press the knees out for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose. Take a few breaths here, again noticing what's going on with your chin. And from here, draw the knees back towards one another, hug in, back to Apanasana. And why don't you see if it feels good to point and flex your feet? And maybe send your ankles in circles. That takes a little coordination so they don't bump into each other. And then flex and point again. And if it feels good, you can lift your head towards your knees. Hug it in. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly open up and find your way into Shavasana. Making sure your shoulder blades are under your back. Your weight is even on your sacrum. And lengthen through the back of your neck. Do whatever it takes to feel grounded and comfortable and supported in this very important final pose. Some say this is the most important pose. Letting all of the efforts in the active practice really make their way into the cellular muscle memory and connectivity in the body. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the breath go like a wave all the way down and out the soles of your feet. Take another one like that. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale this time, let it go out your fingertips as well as the soles of your feet. And one more like that. And relax your toes, the balls of your feet, and your arches, your heels, and Achilles tendons, your ankles. Relax your lower legs and your knees and your upper legs. Relax your hips and groins. And your glutes. Your entire pelvic bowl, let it grow heavy and rest. Relax all the abdominal organs. Let them lay back in the back body. And relax your belly, your side waists, and your ribs, your rib cage. Relax your collarbones, your shoulder blades, your upper arms, your elbows and forearms. Relax your wrists, thumbs, all your fingers and your hands. And relax your neck, your throat, and your jaws and chin, and your lips, the entire interior of your mouth, letting your tongue grow slack. Relax your cheeks and your ears, your nasal passages, your nose, your sinuses, and let your eyeballs sink deeply down into their oracular orbs. Relax your eyebrows and your forehead, your entire scalp, even your hair. And let your brain grow heavy and rest in the back portion of your skull. And feel your skin as it drapes over your bones. And your whole body sinking into your mat, down into the earth. And you can let go of everything that doesn't serve you. Without even knowing what it is, just let it go. Allow yourself to float. And beginning to bring your awareness back to your breath and your body. Feeling that sweet rise and fall as the breath enters and exits. And begin to notice your fingertips and your toe tips, bringing some movement to those. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. And then take a nice deep stretch, however it feels good in your body. Take a breath in and really extend out through your tips of your fingers, tips of your toes. And then with an inhalation, roll to your right side. And enjoy a few breaths there. And letting your practice, all the nutrients of your practice, settle in. And then please use your hands, your arms to help yourself come back up and join me on your mat. And if it feels good for you, bring your hands to prayer hands and take a moment, bow your head towards your heart with gratitude with gratitude for all that we are so fortunate to enjoy in life. Truly grateful for all the peace, all the freedoms, all the food and the bounty of clear water, and truly the ease in which we live, as imperfect as it may be. We are so fortunate, and may we be deeply grateful for all that we have, all that we enjoy. Take a moment perhaps to reflect on our ancestors with gratitude for whatever trials and tribulations and challenges that they may have come upon and faced and persevered through so that we actually live in this moment. And with gratitude for one another, for being here, for showing up. And please join me in sending out this prayer on this day to all beings. May all beings be peaceful and free. May all beings be safe. May all beings everywhere have enough food and enough clear water. May all beings everywhere live with ease and grace all the days of their lives. Please join me in one Om. We'll simply inhale and begin. Om. And thank you so much for joining with me in your practice, in this practice this morning. Namaste.